I'm Adam, and in this video, we are going to talk about the story of the Whig Party. Here is the story of the Whig Party. The seventh president of the United States, Andrew Jackson, really shook things up after he took office. He expanded the power of doing things like destroying the Second National Bank, sending troops to nullification during the nullification crisis, and vetoing every bill that came across his desk. A group of Americans didn't really like Jackson so much they labeled him King Andrew and quote, a dangerous man on a horseback. One of these critics of Jackson was a well-respected senator from Kentucky named Henry Clay. Henry Clay and other opponents of Jackson thought they needed to organize against Jackson and in 1831 started creating a new political party. Clay and other opponents of Jackson called themselves Whigs, named after the term many people refer to show that they hated King George III. Henry Clay ran as a Whig in the 1832 presidential election against Andrew Jackson, but got his butt kicked in that presidential election, only receiving 44 electors to Jackson's 218. Throughout the 1830s, the Whig Party became more popular, with many Whigs winning national elections of Congress. They had the majority in Congress. In 1839, the Whigs held their first national convention, and they nominated William Henry Harrison for president. So obviously he wasn't against Indian removal, but there were many factions within the Whig Party. In 1840, he became the first Whig president, but at the age of 68, also became the first president to die in office. Just a month after taking office, his vice president, John Tyler, took over and became the second Whig candidate, although he was technically a wino, Whig in name only. Because his views tended to be mostly the Democratic Party, he ended up vetoing a lot of Whig legislation, and the Whig Party would kick Tyler out of the party for that. Meanwhile, the early 1840s was the golden age for the Whigs, but then, seemingly out of nowhere, James K. Polk became the Democratic nominee for the 1844 presidential election. The Whigs nominated Henry Clay, and Clay was loved by many, but dang it, he had a long side of losing presidential elections when he barely lost to James Polk in 1844. That was his sixth presidential election he had lost. The 1844 presidential election marked the beginning to the end of the Whig Party. They no longer had a majority in Congress, and the Democrat Polk was successful in actually getting done what he said he would do during his campaigns. The Whigs really let out in the 1848 presidential election. Their candidate was a hero of the Mexican-American War, Zachary Taylor, and the Democrat that year, Lewis Cass, lost many votes to former president and Free Soil candidate Martin Van Buren. Taylor won the election, and things again were looking good for the Whigs. But the Compromise of 1850 split Norwood and Cedar Whigs over the issue of the expansion of slavery out west. In July 1850, President Taylor died, and his VP, Millard Fillmore, would become the fourth and the last Whig president during his presidency. New issues like the rising of immigrants, the society of alcohol, and the Compromise of 1850 split the Whigs even more. The Whig Party was never that united to begin with. In 1852, two of the Whigs' greatest leaders, Henry Clay and Daniel Webster, both died, further weakening the party. In 1852, the Whigs nominated another Mexican-American war hero, popular General Winfield Scott, but Scott lost the election badly to Democrat Franklin Pierce. Whig Representative Louis DeCamera of Ohio said it best. We are saying the party is dead, dead, dead. By 1854, the newly formed Kansas-Nebraska Act split the Whigs even more. For the Whigs did not like the law. A bunch of Whigs began to join either the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or the Know Nothing Party. By 1856, the Whig Party barely existed. One thing that remains clear, political parties can rise just as quickly as they can fall, and the Whig Party was no exception. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe.